Hey, what's going on, audience? Welcome to Fresh Film Talk. I am your host, Lovell Revels, and I have the lovely Aleishea Cordero,
Hi, everybody.
and I have the awesome Tyler Becks in the building with us, right?
Yes.
Okay. I just want to make sure I said everybody's name correctly. So 2 for 2, said it correctly?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So these are some awesome filmmakers. I had a pleasure working with them on their most recent film as the audio guy. But I mean, what I've experienced on set, the magic you guys brought up there, the cast, the crew, it was just like a wonderful time, and I really enjoyed myself. But before we get into that, let's talk about you guys. You know, you had this competition called Fright Film. You guys won a few awards for the film What Lies, right?
Yeah.
So you got best supporting actress, you have the best poster and best screenplay,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So okay, let's dive deep into that. Let's how did you guys meet? How did that begin? Fright Film, what's Fright Film? And take us on that journey.
Well, I have my friend Allison Marie Rogers. She's actually in this film. She's in the Fright film and she's in the film that's coming out now. Um, Me and her have worked on that in the past. This was our third year doing it, and we kind of collaborate on story, and then I wrote the story, and she cast the net for the casting, and that's how I met Aleishea.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Me and Allison, we've known each other. We do CAS together, and I met her through there. And then she messaged me for this one. And I was excited. I don't do horror. I don't watch scary movies or anything like that. But she sent me the script, and I was like, okay, I can do this. It's nothing crazy, and it was fabulous. I loved it.
yeah, and she did a great job in it too. She was amazing.
Yeah. I remember going to the award ceremony there. I didn't catch any of the films there, so but yeah, I mean you guys are really strong, like a strong team there. I want to say it's like what, like 10 of you guys part of that whole
Yeah,
thing that were
just
there.
about, yeah.
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 Yeah, that's amazing. Okay, well let's get into the nitty gritty. Is why we're here. So you guys shot a new film. You guys want to introduce the film? You guys, you
Yeah.
know?
The film is Home for Dinner. It was originally a Thanksgiving themed film,
Mm.
but that did not work out.
Time
so,
crunch. I'm like, yeah.
it was
Oh.
too close. So we decided
Uh,
to make it a Christmas film, which I think turned out very well.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. Put that festive spirit into it and all that.
Yeah.
Gives a little more time to like
Yeah.
make it.
Yeah.
So that we can get it out. We're gonna get it out like just the week before Christmas, so just enough time.
So you guys co-wrote the film together, right?
Yeah.
So how did that come about? How did it say, hey, let's get together and write something? And what was the conversation like to
Well,
do that?
On when we were doing What Lies,
Mhm.
we were in between. We were going back to get a shot, and then we were just talking about it. And,
Yeah.
and Aleishea brought it up. It was this script that she had written, and asked if I wanted to be on board. So yeah.
I had written the script, just like the original part of it.
Mhm.
And after working with Tyler, I was like, this is the person that I want filming it. This is the person that I want directing it. He was just an all around, just a phenomenal person, very professional, and he knew what he was looking for. And I knew I was able to work with him. So I was like, hey, this is what I want to do. Read it. Tell me what you think. He read it. He was like, I love it. I want to work with it. Let me go ahead and put my little spin in it. It was my first writing. So he made it sound better. And we went with it, and it turned out really good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then so like let's elaborate on that. So what qualities? I'll go first. What qualities did you see in Tyler that made you say he's the guy? So when we filmed Home for Dinner, I like your eye. You have a really good eye for on details, and you use lighting. A lot of people that are DPs in the city, they kind of like shy away from that, or try not to use that. But that's what I noticed about you when I was on set. I was like, man, he has a really good. He's very meticulous. He has a really good eye for detail. So at least I'll let you, go in.
Actually, the very good eye for detail is what I caught on to. Um, just before we even started filming Fright Film, he had the script ready, he had the schedule ready, he had the meetings ready, the costumes ready. It was a lot. You knew what to expect.
Mm.
And I love that. Even when we got to set, he had everything planned out exactly how he wanted it, where he wanted you to go, what he wanted you to do. And it didn't leave questions for me, which I really, really liked. And he had a
Mm.
vision and he stuck with that vision, but he was open to hear what we all had to say.
Mm.
So I really liked
Yeah, I
that
like
about it.
that too. Like when you're on films and it feels organized,
Yeah.
everything smooth, real good. So like when I was on set, all I had to do was just worry about audio. That was it. And maybe you guys said, "Hey, do you need some help?" But
Yeah.
outside of that, that's all I had to really worry about, which is awesome. You know what I mean? Even though we had like a slim crew, maybe like 4, 5 of us, but yeah, I mean, like it was a really wonderful experience. And so what was it like on set for you guys there? With like I mentioned, like how I felt on set. What's the vibes that you guys got on set? Would you say?
Yeah. Um, yeah, there's a lot of prep work that went into it. That was part of when Alicia brought the script to me, was that I I wanted to put like my vision into the material. So that was kind of my approach, was to the as I was reading it, kind of what I was seeing, the way that those things could play out, the sequences and all that, and just get that into the script so that once we got to set and filmed it, everything would come out like that. I it was great working with everyone, and all the prep work, I think, kind of prepared us so that once we got there, we could all work together and fill in all the gaps. And I really like to listen to everyone else. I don't want to come in and be like, this is the way it's going to be.
Yeah.
It's like I want it to be a creative process for all of
Yeah.
us. So
Yeah.
being open to all that stuff, and everyone was great about that.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't see anything like because sometimes you on set and it's just like you see people that are kind of like standoffish, and it's like you know they'll be like, "Oh, I can do this a little bit better. This is how I'll do things." I didn't see any of that on set. So everywhere it was good chemistry there, good vibes. Speaking about that, how did you cast? Like, what was the casting process like? Because I feel like casting wise, as far as like performance wise, perfect. Chemistry wise, perfect. Offset, off camera, just perfect. So what was that? How did
Um,
you how did you make that happen?
so a lot of the people I've actually either worked with them before, or I've
Mm-hmm.
seen them work, or I was in class with them, and you recommended two people.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of looked at their social medias and I liked them a lot. They auditioned as well. But I just went with how I knew you just in class, or how I saw you work on another project. What was your vibe then?
Mm-hmm.
Not with me, but what was your vibe when you were working with something else or doing something else? Did I like you as a person? Did I just like your character and how you flowed with everybody around you? Um, that's how I did that. There's a few people that I did when I wrote the role, I knew who I wanted for that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because I just had a relationship with them and I knew we would all mesh together well. But it was pretty easy. I had a lot of auditions come in and I'm like, there were some people that I thought would be good, but
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think they would mesh well with the people who I knew
Mm-hmm.
that I wanted in the scene. So,
I'm glad you brought that up because because I cast for projects too, and it's just that hard thing where it's just like this person was good, but like how would they look or how would they interact with the other people that I have as a collective? Like, would it all gel together? Your job as a filmmaker is to make the best film as possible. So like you can't just say, "Oh, this one actor is good," but aesthetically or you just don't have the chemistry
mhm.
to put on the maximum performance that you think you can get if you use another actor. So it's
Yeah.
not so it's just also especially the ones that it's just like, okay, I can't push you in this project, but I got something else for you.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And sometimes some people, they're like, okay, they'll accept it. And sometimes it's just like, oh, I can do better than this guy. Why
Yeah.
did you? So yeah, you get that sometimes. So um, let's see here. So as far as like what I also liked was the chemistry. So how did you make that family dynamic? in the film. So how did that come about? It's like, was it a rehearsal process? Was it immediately like when you saw the casting with the family dynamic? I feel like like me doing the audio and
Mhm.
watching it, it's like, are you guys like not cousins, or
Yeah.
is that like, is this really your mom and dad,
Yeah.
or you know?
I think it was the people that I cast, first of all, they're just
Mm,
amazing individuals. And I knew when they got together, they would give off that family vibe. I'm black, so I wanted to do that whole this is a family. This is a get together barbecue type of thing where
mm,
everybody's just you're my cousin. I don't know you. You're the best friends of somebody, but now you're related to me.
mm,
And I wanted them to bring that in. And when we had our what is it on our on screen rehearsal,
mm,
I told them that this is the vision, this is what I'm looking for, and they brung that. I didn't have to ask, I didn't have to direct them to do that. Tyler didn't have to direct them to do that. It was just organic and it flowed. It went very well.
Yeah, a lot of that went into the casting. It
Yeah.
was just the way that everybody came together and worked
Hmm.
so well together. That was a huge piece of it.
Yeah.
Like just the right people for the roles. But in the rehearsal process, I had like an idea of how things wanted to go. But then once we were on set and we were working,
mm,
I wanted to give everyone the space to just kind of like clown around and
Hmm.
like get to know each other so that they can develop that chemistry together. And so I kind of took a quiet backseat while that was happening so that everybody could connect. And I
Yeah.
think that came across so well on screen. There's something about what they brought as individuals and then together that
It
yeah,
turned out.
it's
Yeah.
great. I love the energy of it.
absolutely. Speaking about good energy, let's circle back a little bit. I want to talk about like the collaborative effort that you guys put in. So sometimes when you work with teams, it's magical. You get things done together, but sometimes there's like be some disagreements. So did you guys ever like run into like some disagreements when creating a film? It could be during the writing process, shooting process, post production. Is there any disagreements between you two? Would you say?
No.
It's
No,
just
no,
Not in
we didn't.
one step of it.
No, no, not at all.
okay.
I'd say the only thing on my end was when some scenes just with time. It's
Oh
like I want
yeah.
to make sure we get like the shots that we need. So I was under stress, but that didn't bleed into any.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all worked
It
so
wasn't a
well together.
disagreement. It's very good communication
Yeah.
between the both of us.
Yeah,
So.
yeah.
Then that's man, that's like 1%, you know. So let's stay on collaboration. Well, actually, let me talk to you, Tyler. This is the good question for you. So, I had the luxury, I had the chance to see the rough cut of Home for Dinner, and one thing that I really liked about the film, it was the pacing, was the timing, comedic timing, and all that. So, what was your thought process on that? Like, how were you able to masterfully put that together?
um, a- Part of that went into like the script revisions. It was like I wanted to kind of as as the script was playing out, I could kind of like see how that could work on set,
Hmm.
and it is working on that with the actors while we were filming. It was like just getting the lines to jump in the right way, and but they really most of them brought that themselves. But in the editing process, I personally take a lot of inspiration from music, so I kind of I I like to listen and hear the flow of it, and as as it goes on, it kind of is like a piece of music where if
Mm,
you're not on the beat and there's like a missed timing or something like that,
mm.
it'll throw off the vibe.
Oh wow.
So that's just trying to tighten it so that it has like a natural constant flow is like a big part of my process in the editing.
Well, speaking about music, I have a film coming out called Power of Music. Sorry for this way in the plug, but I had to shamelessly put that in there. It's a film by Josiah Johnson, stars Hosea Stanford, John Wright, Keisa Carroll. You may know these names, you may not, but you will if you don't know. But I just had to shamelessly plug that in since you did mention music. But I haven't thought about it that way though, as far as like the pacing, how the filming could be a relatable thing to music and how they can correlate together as far as like the pace and all that. That's a very good comparison to do that.
I've written music and I've played a lot of different instruments, and that's just kind of the way my mind works.
Okay.
Is like a lot of sound so much, and I think also kind of taking that approach with the editing
Mhm.
gives I know kind of how I want the music to flow with it because the odd the dialogue itself is like a piece already. So
Right.
then you just match the music to that tone, and
That's crazy how you can be in one particular field and what apply your skill set and your knowledge to another particular field to help enhance what you're trying to do.
yeah.
I mean, that's you can apply that in many aspects in life, but how you were able to do that with music and to apply that to film as far as the pacing of the film, that's amazing. So
I'm glad you like it.
so let's so one thing that and I don't want to get into spoiler territory,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna bring it up and then you guys can let me know if we want to rock out with it or not.
Okay.
So the flashback scenes, hilarious. Everyone. Even like one that was my favorite one was not even a flashback scene, but it was like alluded. Like it could have been a potential flashback scene, but it was like how you guys cleverly put that together. I I don't want to get into spoiler territory. What
Keep
me-
going,
you
you
got?
got it.
Is it the look?
No,
that
it was
shot?
just what was said, and then the comedic timing behind it. Like,
Mhm.
so I didn't even catch that. Even like when I was doing the audio, I was like, I didn't even catch that part, but it was so hilarious to me. Can I say what it is?
Go ahead. You can.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm not gonna say exactly what it is, but I'm gonna say who it is, and then you guys can, know. So it was when you guys we did it. So the flashback scenes are over, and then you start talking about the grandpa, and then it was just like, is anybody going to that wedding? By the way,
Mm-hmm.
that
Yeah.
part I cracked up on that part. That was my favorite part right there. So what was your? I mean, like, can we talk about the flashback scenes?
Yeah, go
Okay.
ahead.
So what was your favorite ones, and what was your favorite ones to film or to write? Like, how did you? Okay.
How did I write the flashback?
Who came up
scene?
with the flashback scenes?
That was me.
Yeah.
Okay. So okay, one question before we get into that.
Okay.
Are any of those like real situations that happen, or did you just
No,
make them up?
I just thought him up.
Okay.
Have you seen Coming to America?
Mm-hmm.
And he's at the bar looking for his queen, and they
Yeah.
go to like date after date after
Yeah,
date.
yeah.
That's where I got that from.
That's crazy because that you said that because I have a film it's called Percentage of Love, and we pretty much
I seen it.
you did
Yeah.
okay yeah we kind of like copied that a little bit. I don't say copied it like that, but we kind of we
yeah.
applied the aspect. It was influence.
Mhm.
It was the influence behind that. But yeah, I used that same influence as
I
well.
loved it. I wish I could have added more dates, but the time, the dinner, I wasn't making any more dinner.
Oh yeah,
But that's where I got it from. I was like, this is so cool.
yeah. So
Yeah.
what was your favorite flashback scene?
My favorite is the spray.
Yeah.
That's my favorite.
Oh
It was,
yeah,
it was the best on set,
Yeah.
and I just love how it looks,
out,
how
yeah.
it turned out. It's hilarious.
so the you talking about the forest spray, right?
Mhm.
Okay, so but the audience is not gonna know it was fart spray. So let's talk about that.
Okay.
Why did you punish us like that? Like what was it like? I know like did you smell it before you sprayed
No,
it?
that was the first time I ever smelled it. Is when I sprayed it. Yeah.
Man,
I didn't expect it to smell that bad.
the crazy part
At
was
all.
is like because you were like on the opposite where I was at because I was doing the audio,
Mhm.
but you was like on the opposite end of the table. So you sprayed it. It was like, oh, I don't smell anything. You sprayed it again, and I'm like, oh, okay, I don't smell anything. So I'm like, cool. I'm doing audio. Okay, doing audio. All right, and action. And the smell comes in, and I'm doing audio. I'm like, it's so horrible. It's like one of the most horrible smells I've ever smelled in my life.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm doing audio, and it's like, all right, I can keep my mouth closed so it doesn't get in my mouth. All right, cool. But it's like compartmentalizing it, not coming in your nose. Like,
Mhm.
so it's like, it's getting hard to breathe right now.
Right.
I don't know. So it's like, yeah. So it's like once we get a cut, man, I had to like reset myself a little bit. So and it will make to add was it insult to injury? Is that the saying?
Yeah.
So to do it, you did it again.
I
Every
sprayed it
time
for
we
each
reset the
chick.
camera.
It was like, okay,
He's
this
like,
is
you
the
two get it now.
Yeah,
You
you
two
two
get it.
get it.
right. And I was like, oh man, like it
It
was
came
hard.
off really real in the
Yeah.
footage
Yeah.
And that's
because
what
it
I
was.
wanted. I was like, I want it to be real. There's a
It's-
difference between pretending something stinks
Yeah.
and something actually just smelling terrible.
And she brought that up like as we were working on the
Mhm.
scripts. She's
Yeah.
like, I have this surprise for everyone. Like,
So how
Oh,
did you think
no.
about that? What was it like? So
Scrolling on social media, when they do the pranks, the fart spray pranks in the car, and I was like, I bet I could do this.
I feel like you've been sitting on that.
And I
for a while.
ordered. Before I even casted anybody, I
Yeah.
had already ordered it off.
Yeah, I
Amazon.
feel like this was premeditated.
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
I knew I was going to do it. I was like, this is
my
it.
time.
Yeah.
This is it.
We don't do any other
I'm-
flashback. It's going to be this
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
thankfully for me, I don't have a very strong nose, so I was able to stay like focused in it. Everyone else was suffering.
Everybody was
Oh, okay,
dying.
that's-
My eyes
but
were
I
I
watering.
was
thought
like-
you was just mad focused. Like, okay,
Both.
yeah. It was just like, okay, so it's not gonna affect you. It's just gonna get through it. Like you have other things to worry about. I'm gonna make sure I get these scenes, shot on time, so we don't have to come back. So
I'm like, all right,
So I was
go
like,
again
how
for
we-
safety.
Yeah.
Like everyone's still going through it. I'm like,
Yeah, we threw away all the food after that because everything stinks.
you said it's lingered in your house
Yeah.
for like a week.
So everybody
For
had
a
to
week?
wash their hands because the mist fell on your hands, so it was stinky.
Yeah.
The mist fell on the food, so there was no leftovers that day. Everything got in the trash. Then after everybody left, the smell was still in my house. Like it almost like it drifted into the corners of the kitchen.
mm.
And that was terrible.
Speaking about the food, like how long did it take you to make? Because you made like pretty much a Thanksgiving meal.
Like twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I did it while he was filming the other scenes. So while he was filming other scenes,
Mhm.
I'm sitting here in the kitchen, like trying to hurry up and put stuff together. And some of the stuff I just bought from Kroger.
Oh, okay.
I was like, I'm just heat it
Yeah.
up, season it, and put it out there.
I was like, man, this is like, she's like, okay, you guys can eat. Because I'm thinking it's like prop food. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? It's like, okay, this is pretty much like catering and all
Yeah.
that. So I was like, a home cooked meal for us?
Gotta
We
be
can-
authentic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can eat it? Okay. So as far as like the dialogue in the so like I let me circle back. So as far as like sometimes when I do my films, I have key people that I know that I want to put in the film
Mhm.
and I'll write specifically for them. Was there any actors or actresses that you had that you knew were gonna be in the film and you wrote this role specifically for them?
Yes. So I knew that I wanted Allison in there.
Okay.
I also knew that I wanted Jaja and Rob. Those three were those I knew I wanted them in there. So I kind of wrote based on just how I've interacted with them, how they speak, how they joke on a normal day, and I put that in there. Because when I wrote the scenes, those are the people that popped in my mind. Nobody else popped in my mind but them. So
Speaking about Jaja, he's also in Power of Music.
He's-
So
he's
shamelessly
really
plug that in there. Check it out when it comes out. I'll let you guys know. So which character was it any character that was hardest to write for or easier or stands out to you? So what
I don't think anyone was hard to write for. I think wanting to be sure that everyone got a chance to be on screen,
mhm,
which is why I was like, hey, give the aunt a little something extra, or the grandpa or the girlfriend, just because I wanted to be sure if you're there, you're taking the time to come and support us, that you're able to be seen. You're able to speak, you're able to have some type of involvement in this besides just showing your face.
And how important that is that to you? Because sometimes you I mean a lot of times you see films that have extras. So you just see like Godzilla's like a whole bunch of you see Godzilla coming, 100 people running away from Godzilla. That's the only time you see him. So like, why was that important to you as far as like making sure everyone had some type of screen time?
I think just being independent and knowing that, hey, a lot of these people, they're volunteering their time to bring this vision to life.
Mhm.
And we're all trying to build. We're all trying to build something. We have to start somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't want anyone to come in and spend 4 hours there and not have a chance. Even if it's the smallest little thing, that can be the biggest little thing that's like, hey, I got this. I can keep going. And what about you?
Yeah, there's even some moments while we were on set. It was like here, let's kind of block this out, see what we feel, and then gave people little
Mhm.
moments. Maybe they didn't have lines, but like they're
Yeah.
and with this one, it's we we have like the core story with the family. We don't have a lot of like extra scenes, but everyone is like a member of the family,
Mhm.
so I want to show everyone and what role they play in the family dynamic and all that stuff.
Okay. So, as me being an audience member, or just for the audience in general, what do you want the audience to get? Like, what's the theme? What messages are you trying to convey in this film?
I think just family. Family having fun together, no drama. Like, yeah, we're going flashbacks about the dates, but it's all in good fun. You know, we're family, everybody's laughing, they're having a good time together. There's none of that extra stuff that's not needed. There's mom, there's dad, grandpa, it's all a unit. So, and I
Yeah,
think the table is the big thing for me. I wanted to see everybody at the table together.
yeah.
And so, we talked about, or I talked about, what we talked about, the success of the film, getting it together, and right now it's in post production, almost ready to go for a premiere. But let's talk about the challenges. Like, what challenges did you guys face when making this film?
Mm. Uh, I think that for me, this is like the biggest cast that I've worked with, especially like everyone's in the same room moving around, so you have
Mhm.
to like cover that. So kind of getting getting all of those moving parts to work together and figuring out how to make it
Yeah.
look good, how to make it feel natural, and yeah,
I think my biggest thing is making sure, like Tyler does, he has like a checklist
Mhm.
of things that he wants to do, wants to capture. I think for me, if I'm going to be writing and I'm going to be helping, also have my own checklist. Hey, we need to make sure we hit A, B, and C. We need to make sure we're getting extra B roll of these scenes. And I think it'll help instead of just everything flowing and then we're missing things. We have someone extra that's like, hey, we need to make sure we get da 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 da. And then people being on time.
yeah, yeah,
I know it's a volunteer thing, but at the same time, we're all together. It's a whole team. So when you're late, everything gets pushed back, and that can also contribute to missing things. And I've just seen that in just different productions that I've been a part of.
Mhm.
It does affect how everything flows. So I think that's a big thing. Is hey, we need people to be on time. We need you to come. We need you to be ready.
yeah. We schedule things pretty tight. I mean,
Yeah.
we gave ourselves a good amount of time to get everything covered, but there were some things where I wish we might have been able to like capture a little bit more, but for schedule sake, we I think what we have is
Really
pretty
good.
good,
Yeah.
but
So,
yeah.
what things do you think you would want to capture if you could, if you can go back in time and
And
do it?
I think that goes into what Aleishea was saying is like while I'm for me while I'm filming and I'm so
Focus.
you say the details.
Mhm.
I'm in all of that on the shot that we're working on, and like I'll have ideas that I maybe like forgot maybe we didn't shoot
Mhm.
it. So
Mhm.
Alicia would be like, "Hey, let's go back and shoot that. Remember, we have to get
Oh,
that."
yeah,
I'm
Yeah.
like,
yeah.
"Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah." And um, I think just generally for my filmmaking for the flow insert shots, we're actually going to go back and get some
Get
more of
some.
that to fill in
Mhm.
Yeah.
some of those transitions, like just as we're filming, get little vignettes of the action or scenery, and that kind of helps with the whole musical flow of everything.
So, while filming Home from Dinner, was there anything that stuck out to you or surprised you? Like, it can be from any performances, or it can be from when you recorded. It was like, whoa, that looked better than I thought. Or it can be like in the edit, like, okay, I thought this was trash when I recorded it, but when I go in the edits, surprisingly better than I thought it was gonna be. So, what were any surprises that you guys had? On,
I'd say one of the biggest challenges was continuity because we have so many moving parts. Like
Yes.
and we have some action heavy scenes where you don't really like think about how much that is until you're out on set blocking it out. Um, but for me, it was some of those performances that you have ideas like reading, writing the script pre-production of like how delivery might work out, but then the actor brings something that's like perfect, way better than I could have thought. Like, for instance, like Rob, I loved the
Yeah.
way he delivered some of those lines as the
Oh, yeah.
dad,
Yeah.
and Kirsten in that flashback with
Yeah.
the fart spray,
Yeah.
just better than I could have hoped
Yeah.
for, and it just made the editing process so much easier, and they just really shine. And everyone did a great job, though. It was no
There's
weak
no
points
complaints.
there.
They
no.
all did
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. So talk about them doing amazing. Like what was the I guess what was a good idea for the sorry, I'm drawing my guys. Let me look. I'm cheating, guys. This is my first episode. I'm cheating. All right. All right. So like what lessons did you guys learn from this project that you can carry forward?
I think, like you said, kind of being a little bit more prepared when it comes to having
me.
my own little checklist. Hey, we need to make sure we get this. Make sure you do this. Do this. Probably don't deal with food, so much action with food.
Mm-hmm.
I've noticed a few things I've been on, they'll have food, but they're not actually utilizing the food. It's just there, which saves for continuity and
Yeah.
time and all that movement. And one other thing. Oh, the transporting takes a lot of time. Moving
Between
things back.
sets,
You don't
setups.
realize how
Yeah.
much time that takes.
Yeah.
Lights, like moving them back and forth. That actually, I didn't include that in the schedule when I thought about that. Like walking to the trail, I didn't include that in the schedule. You don't think about it until it's actually you're doing it. It's like, oh, we've been moving for 30 minutes. We could have been doing something else.
Yeah.
So,
If not even more sometimes.
yeah, like
Yeah.
an hour. Yeah.
It's like, well, that was one of the first things we shot. One of those days was scene 1 out on the trail, and getting everybody there, and then that took a lot of blocking to get the walking down the path and figure out how to cut it up, and that went a bit over, an hour or two over, and then we have people waiting for the next scene. I'm like, it's building in more time for filming, and
we had sticks for that.
I feel
Stop
like
here, stop
when
here.
you, and I feel like you guys did this perfectly as well, but I feel like you, for things like that, you do have to add a little bit more time, a little bit more wiggle room. So like something that you think should take maybe like 6 hours to shoot, probably schedule it for 8 hours.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So just in case.
I was trying to go. I've seen that it's like 2 hours per page, and that has worked on other projects because I like not What Lies, but there's a film, The Study, that I did last year for Fright Film, and that was all in an office building, so it was like literally we had the whole space to ourselves, so it was easy to move between scenes, and I wasn't as focused on the lighting for that film as for this, so kind of those changes between projects and really dialing in the lighting too, that was a big piece of it. So it's just maybe 3 hours per page, maybe 4. And rehearsal, like actually in-person rehearsals and blocking rehearsals will help.
So I know when the audience gets a chance to see the film, there has to be a sequel. There has to be some type of like I love the like not just the story, the twist at the end and all that. Like it's like two different. Like you can do a sequel with the twist, and you can do a sequel with the family, and you can do multiple sequels with the family have their own spinoffs. You know what I mean? Because the characters were so rich to me. So
the dinner universe.
yeah, and I mean, like they can have their own. Like the one I was talking about with the grandpa. I want to see that flashback. Like I'll want to see 5-7 minutes of that whole
like
that whole
maybe
story.
Just a short of all these earlier dates.
Yeah.
Where it's like just a bunch of flashbacks, and that's
I would.
But the cool thing is the whole cast, they were excited and they were coming up with ideas to keep making this a series. We didn't bring that up. They brought it up. They wanted to see what could happen, the stories that could happen. So you never know. Maybe something we do.
You guys should strongly consider it. I think it's a lot of story to tell. With it.
And there's a lot of holidays throughout the year.
We have New Year's. We have Valentine's Day, Easter. They got to get caught time.
Yeah, there's a piece to it that kind of brings multiple holidays together, so that you'll see.
So the story, I mean, it talks about like the awkwardness, you know, at least part of the story, the awkwardness meeting the family for the first time. How relatable is that to you guys? Is that like, you know, resonate with you, or is that just something you guys just made up, or
Mm.
is that something you can relate to? I guess is a better question.
It's not something I can relate to personally because me and my husband, we've known each other since I was 15. So
Oh wow.
we grew, like his parents have known me since I was little. My mom has known him. But I think seeing TV and all the awkward they bring when families meet each other, I think seeing kind of how my brother-in-law, when he would bring his girlfriends in, just that getting to know that new person, and it was kind of awkward. So other than that, I've never experienced it personally,
Yeah.
just seen it.
Okay, okay.
I guess just awkwardness in general and playing
Yeah,
into that. Yeah, yeah.
just be an awkward person.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think this will probably be the last question. So as far as like the audience watching, what do you think will be the most standout? Like what do you think will stand out to the audience when watching this film?
I I think those flashbacks are really gonna
Yeah.
that there's a whole it's scene 3, but you get like the introduction to basically what's going to be happening, and then when you meet the whole family in those flashbacks, that once you just feel that dynamic, people are going to really like. I think it's a really strong start to the whole. This is family
Yeah.
home for dinner.
And it's something to relate to. I think for a lot of families, just getting together for those holidays and reminiscing on stories and some good parts, some not so good parts, how you can joke about it and all that stuff. I think it's like a hit you in the feels type of thing.
Mm.
Yeah.
And so you guys have any? At least y'all been seeing you in a lot of projects. It seems like you got a project dropping like every
I'm
week.
trying. I'm
Like,
trying.
what? I know her. Like what?
Yeah.
What she? Yeah. So
Commercial, short films,
right.
all the things.
I'm like, what? Oh
We're
my
trying.
gosh. So you guys need to have any projects coming up that we should look out for?
Oh, yes. I'm not sure when this will actually come out, but I'm filming with Jarrell um, Pyro Productions for Thaddeus. So that one for sure. That was awesome. I got to do a lot of action work in there. I
What's
got.
Thaddeus about?
I can't tell you that.
Oh, okay. You gotta.
You gotta wait.
Indeed.
When they put out the trailers, you'll see.
Okay.
Then I worked with Robert. He wrote his first feature film, Red, White, and Black. That's amazing. Not telling
And
you much.
Robert's
Yeah,
the
Robert
dad.
Burns.
Robert
Yeah, the
Burns
one
is
who's
the
playing
dad.
the dad.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm in there. Not a lot, but when he does his sequel, I'll be in there more. It's kind of like an introductory of who I am.
Okay.
And I did makeup for that one, which was fun.
Okay.
And one more, William Lee. He has another film coming out, Black Hole Sun. That'll be in
Okay.
2025 as well. And that was fun. He actually let me get behind the camera and work the camera. I did special effects makeup.
Okay.
And
I feel like with independent filmmaking, having that multiple hats that you can do definitely helps out on set. You know, makes things a lot easier, especially when you don't have the budget or maybe the manpower to fulfill those roles.
yeah.
So I like that you're getting behind camera, doing special effects, doing makeup. That's key things to have on film.
Yeah.
So
And it's
keep it
awesome
up.
because you have people who are so willing to give you the opportunity and the chance to do that. I've never done special effects, and William called me up and was like, "Hey, I would like to work with you." I'm like, "I've never done this before. I'll teach you." And I'm like, "Okay." I've never worked the camera. I'll teach you. I've never done this. I'll teach you. So being in this industry where I'm surrounded by people who's willing to give me a shot and teach me things that I haven't done before, it's an honor and I love it.
Let's stay on that real quick.
Yeah.
So, because the reason I want to do that is because sometimes I will have actors that just want to act. You know what I mean? And just independent stuff. You know what I mean? So, but I try to tell them like, man, you should learn different things like behind the camera because this would be more opportunities for you to get on set. Because sometimes you can't get cast, or sometimes it's projects you're not able to get on because you're not in that circle,
Mhm.
but they could probably utilize you behind the camera, and then you can say, hey, I can be, I'm an actor too, da da da, and maybe vice versa as
Yeah.
well. But I feel like more from a actor standpoint, because actors, from my standpoint, are trying to be, is get much exposure as they can before they make it big time.
Mhm.
And I've run into a lot of them that just want to act, and it's like, oh, like you need to, do more than that. So why is that important? Why is that important to you?
Network. It's just network for me. I didn't star in Robert's film, but because of him, I was connecting with people that did star in his film who
Mm,
recommended me for other things just because they liked how I worked behind the scenes.
mm.
And I get connected with lighting, directors, camera, and maybe they have a project that they need an extra person. Hey, Aleishea, can you come? I know you act as well. Yes, I will be there.
Mm.
For Williams' film, The Queen couldn't come. I end up being a part of that in front of the screen, which was not planned. I was behind the scenes and I got to be in front of the camera as well.
Mm.
I think just opening yourself up to realize, hey, you may not be in front of the screen now, but maybe that person remembers you from the work you did behind the scenes and they call you up for something else. Or somebody bails out and now you need to take that space.
So do you believe those opportunities to do things behind the camera led to more opportunities for you to be on
Oh, of
camera?
course, yeah.
See how that works, Julia? I'm just playing. I don't know nobody named Julia. I'm just kidding.
So something about that too is I m- started out with acting. That's like the foundation of everything that I know. Like when it comes to film and theater and all that stuff, and that taking that approach to the filmmaking aspect of it, it's like what the actors are going through, and you can kind of communicate that with them. But then also vice versa, if you're an actor and you know more about the film, like if you know what lens you're shooting on, you can know how to act to that frame,
Mm.
or how what the tone of the lighting and the mood and all that stuff. It's like the more that you know from all sides of the camera, it's like it just informs every choice that you make, performing, filmmaking, all of that.
So
It's
are you still on camera, or are you just primarily behind camera now?
it's been a while. I have done a lot of background work on like the big films that come through. So that's
Which films? You got to big yourself up, man. That's what we do on this show.
I was on Shirley.
Okay.
That was Regina King film.
Okay.
The filmed a couple years ago. I have a couple close ups.
Mhm.
It's on
Oh, okay.
Netflix. You can see me.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
I've seen you.
I was standing right next to
Yeah.
Regina and Terrence Howard for a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Had a conversation with him. That was really cool. Um,
What was that? What was the conversation? It would mean if you don't mind, unless
it's
if
kind it's
it's
kind of a weird moment.
okay.
I we were blocking the scene. It was in between camera movements, and he thought I was standing in his spot, so he asked me to move, and then he realized that's not what we were shooting, so he came over and tried to smooth it over with
You
me.
in my spot, man. Did he say that,
Yeah,
or how do
yeah.
you say that, or
Yeah, kind of like that. Yeah,
oh for real?
yeah.
You in my spot, man. Nah, cause he's always like mean about, cause he always says main, like
Mhm.
instead of saying man, he says main.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so you said Shirley, and then what other films did you do?
Um, I don't know if I can say the name of the one I just did. I did sign an NDA for that.
Okay,
But
let's okay.
that was like was on that for 5 days, and I'll never forget the setting and the way that it worked. It is a film with Josh O'Connor and Kelly Reichardt as the director.
Okay.
So getting they I I work with them a lot. So that they called me in like 2 days before and were like, "Hey, can you come out and do this shoot?" And it was just learning so much. It's like you being on the side of the camera that in that moment, but I'm also watching how everyone's working on the set, and that I just absorb all of that and try to bring that into the way
They
I
didn't know
work.
you more from like acting, or they didn't know you more
Yeah.
from doing behind the scenes.
Shirley was my first, and since then, I get called for almost every background for every film that comes through.
Okay.
Just like a good working relationship.
Okay.
That whole thing of like keeping yourself open, you
Yeah.
never know. It's something.
So for like aspiring actors out there, can you like how like what approaches did you take to get background work?
I just saw the emails that there were articles, Cincinnati Enquirer, and it said Regina King filming a movie in Cincinnati. Email, and it's Lynn Myers casting, D. Lynn Myers for the Cincinnati area. So I just sent my stuff, and once that was done, said like I love that experience, and I would love to work on anything you have again, and then just kind of keeps coming through. They'll call me last minute. I also did stand in for this last film, the Kelly Reichardt film, and that was something I'd never done before. But they called me, literally said, "How quick can you get here?" Somebody didn't show up today. It's like, drop everything. I'm there, and that was such a cool experience.
So these like background opportunities are they paid opportunities or
Yeah, it's like an
Okay.
hourly rate.
Okay.
It's not the big money, but
Yeah, but
it's something for
so you're getting paid and you're getting your name in the door. You're getting more recognized because, like you said, Dylan Myers calls you up and say, "Hey, can you do this?" Opportunity for you to be in a a major motion picture. You
Mhm.
know,
And then
so
you meet people on set that you can work with in the future,
yeah.
and people who you just build this little community, just being
And
being
then, like
open
you
to
say,
anything.
you talked to Terrence. I mean, that's an opportunity that a lot of people don't get. You know what I mean? And you have to, like you said, network. You have to take advantage of those opportunities, no matter how awkward they could be, because you never know where those particular conversations can take you. So I mean, that's big time
Yeah.
for sure. All right, so that's all the projects you got going on right now, or
Writing a lot.
writing? Okay,
Uh, there's a competition coming up that I was gonna do last year. Things didn't really work out, and I wanna make it happen this year. It's winter
okay.
film.
Winter
Yeah.
film. Shout out to
So
winter film.
I've
Yeah.
I've been in winter film before,
Yeah.
um, and had an actor nom.
Okay.
That was cool. But I really want to make something because I something I haven't done yet that is like the top of my list is a drama, like something that's a deep character study, something really moody, and I just my filmmaking style and visual style and all that. I want to bring some personal stuff into that material. I haven't really gotten to do that yet, so I really want to kind of tell some of my own struggles and work that out through the art.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking to a 3-time winter film nominee right now.
Yeah.
This is not just a light flex. You know,
Right, right.
yeah, I'm thinking about that as well. Winter film. I mean, it's a real. I I now have like a team of people that I can rely on. So it's just like I feel like that will be like a good exercise for us to gel together, do a project together like that, because it's really like a timely project. You only have about a month to shoot your film.
Yeah.
So I
Like
really
last year, there was a month for the writing and then a month for production. They just said it's all going to be in 1 month again, and that the one I was in the one year that was rough
yeah.
because I was co-writer on that also. So then like trying to figure out all the script stuff and be like, we're shooting in like 2 days.
Yeah.
And then I have to switch into actor brain and memorize and all that.
Man, so I can do. Let's talk about winter film stories since we brought it up. So I could my story. So when we did our winter film, we had and this is like testing your leadership. You know what I mean, or like identifying what type of leader you are as well.
Yeah.
Like I feel like that was tested with me within winter film because I was more collaborative. Like, hey, you guys get up. There's too many chefs in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Make a
Yeah.
long story short, it's too many chefs in the kitchen. We had a writer, so we had 2 writers. We had 2 people write two shorts, and we just went with one. But the idea was the one we didn't use will be one we could use later on in the year, and we can film that. So we went with one idea, and then it was like super. It was super dope, but with the location that we were able to get, and then the added on stuff, it got too convoluted, and some people didn't believe in it, some people dropped out, and it was just like, all right, I had to put on my big boy pants, take initiative, scrap this project, and then I just wrote something like in a day and said, okay, I'm gonna write this, we're gonna shoot at this one location, and then this is on a weekend. And
Yeah.
that's it. So I
Yeah.
mean, it started off pretty rocky, but then it what we were able to make within those 2 days was magical to me.
Yeah.
Which is percentage of so okay, percentage of love, which is you say you saw that,
Yes,
right?
sir.
What did you think? Honest opinion.
I actually liked it.
Okay.
I love the date scenes. I can't remember everything because I seen it when I first did my first winter film.
Okay.
So
Okay, let me talk about that.
Yeah.
If I can.
Oh, was that your first year too?
my first
Yeah,
when I
yeah.
did my first winter
So,
film with Brandon.
that winter film, so like I think it's still kind of like um hold some type of weight with me a little bit because when we shot or when they screened it, they screened it in the C block. And that's when everybody started coming in. So it was like a packed house, but ours was like the first one. And they said, okay, we're gonna like 10 minutes before they screen it, they're like, okay, they'll let you know. But they just played it. They didn't say, hey guys, make sure you know. So it was like people at the bar still talking. So
Yeah.
like really like people didn't get a chance to like see the beginning of it until it got to the date scenes. And then the audio that we did on our side, it was a little low, a little wobbly. So I still have like a little like hesitancy. But then when we screened it, like we screened it at the Black Film Series that we had at the library in one of the hills, and people loved it. And I'm like, okay, well, this is something that I feel like it can be screened more, but it's
Yeah.
just like I don't know. I still have like a little like PTSD from that a little bit. It's just lack of better words, um, but yeah. So I'm glad you like
Yeah.
you like it.
I liked it.
And then I had people at the Black Film Series say they liked it as well. So I might screen a little bit more, but yeah, it's just like man, I'm not gonna screen it again. It's just
No.
like yeah. So I was kind of like that. It was in my head a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But just keep going, keep putting it out there. It may
Yeah.
suck, but like to you it may
Listen.
suck, but somebody else may see it and they're like, "Oh, I love that."
Yeah.
Or somebody may say it sucked, but then you
Right.
have that critique, like, "Okay, well, what sucked about it?"
Right. That's what I was saying. Like,
Yeah.
okay, that's why I was asking you. Like, just keep it 100 with me.
No, I
is
like
it
it.
okay? Okay.
Yeah,
But,
that year winter film too. We were the film I was in the first block, and it was the third film that screened. It was like 20% of the audience was even there yet.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
like, we put so much into this.
yeah, and I think and that's I'm not sure if you had a chance to read the description for next year or this upcoming year, but I think they're like gutting a little bit as far as like I think it was like 30 teams. I think they're narrowing it down to like 22, 20 teams.
Yeah.
So everybody gets more of an opportunity with that screen time
Yeah.
as well. And I think they had some issues last year with the way that things work. Like they had a whole bunch of people drop out, stuff like that. A whole bunch of teams drop out.
I was
so-
one of
Yeah.
them. Yeah.
Oh, okay. so
Yeah,
so
right.
yeah, so I think that's why they went back to the old style, which I pretty much enjoy anyways. But
Yeah.
yeah. Alrighty, so I think that wraps up everything. We got through Home for Dinner, which is we're gonna do a premiere,
Yes.
like a cast premiere. What you guys think, or
I'm
what you guys thinking?
excited.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
Lavelle brought that idea up. We didn't even consider that. He was
Yeah.
like,
We
Yeah.
wrapped, and
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah, I feel like honestly, when we do things like this, I feel like we, if especially like with unpaid projects and stuff like that, we kind of like owe it to our cast and our crew to like, feel some type of level of let's have let's have an opportunity to show this not only amongst us, but let's bring our families and stuff to see like what skill sets that we've been working on and stuff like that. Because sometimes we look at this and say, oh, you're in this little hobby, da da da.
Mhm.
And I feel like for me personally, when I did my first film festival, I brought some family out there and his friends. A lot of them came out and supported, and it was just like, oh, this is what you do. And it was just like, oh, okay, you a lot bigger than, when I thought you were, you know what I mean? So I think it gives, our cast and crew that opportunity to, feel good, like I got this
Yeah.
coming out. Oh, is doing a premiere. Oh, and you got yours coming out like that. I'm still working on my project. I shot in the summertime. People still ask me, can you send me a reel for that? It's like, yeah, let me go back and try to find some audio and piece it together real quick so I can send it to you. But yeah, you can I need to find an editor, long story short. But yeah, I commend you because you got that pretty much within what a month, like after
Ooh,
we
not
shot.
Yeah, we
not
just
even that, like
tomorrow.
two,
It'll be
three-
2 weeks ago. We
yeah.
wrapped.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
with like turn around, it's mostly because it is holiday based.
Yeah.
We want
Yeah.
to like
Get it
You
out.
get it out
Yeah.
in the holiday. Yeah.
But I
So,
think Tyler's really good too. Like he doesn't hold it and like just let it sit there. He'll
I
call
do.
you like, "Hey, I'm already putting some stuff together. I kind of looked at some stuff. Not, I like that. It's not like it's
Yeah.
just sitting back. I keep hitting this, but yeah. Sometimes you'll see like, "Hey, I'll come to it in just a minute. Just give me a
Mhm.
second." He's like, "No, I've already pulled some stuff. I'm already looking at it. It looks good." So
Yeah. I start off
Yeah.
that way sometimes, but stuff comes up,
yeah,
and then you get, more projects. And it's just time goes on.
Yeah.
I'm getting better. I promise.
we should see yours coming out soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's coming out soon. Real soon.
And
Fingers
if you need
crossed.
anyone to look at it like editing wise, I'm down.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. For sure. For sure. Yeah. I'll send it to you guys and get your feedback and you know. I don't know. That's just so. Okay. Let's. I know we're supposed to wrap. So like, but talking about editing. What's your process like? How are you able to compartmentalize and get through it?
I guess while we're filming, I pick up on like these moments. While I'm on set, I don't even like to slate, like use the clapper and slate each thing, and it bogs things down and I don't use it. I listen to the first few seconds where it's like scene 3 action and I'm like, okay, drop it all in a folder, and then I know based on what it looks like, that's where I'm going to drag it. So then I can just look at those clips, what are the best moments, and then figure out continuity from there, and and then trim things up so it has a flow to it.
Yeah. Well, that's because you're the director, and so everything is that. Even with me, I direct my projects. I'm like, I need a slate. All right, I need that slate so I can like organize my files because I've done it the way you've done it before. I mean, everybody's different, but I've done
Yeah.
it the way you've done it before, and it's just like once I started, using a slate, naming my files, making them more organized, it was easier for me to do it that way. So when you was like, yeah, I don't need a slate. Okay, cool. Like, but I'm glad. But like seeing like the process you were able to do, the rough cut looks great, by the way.
Mhm.
It's like okay, yeah, everybody's a little bit, different.
Yeah.
Works a little bit differently. So, I mean that part I really commend you with that no slate. That's I like.
If it was a longer film,
Yeah.
Yeah,
maybe.
But if you listen, he knows the scenes. Like he'll tell you, like, cause I'm like scene 3. What was that?
right.
Like, put the name on it or something. But he can say the number. He in his head, he knows this is what I'm looking for. This is the scene. This is what involved in that scene. I can't do that. I need the paper. Scene what? Okay, what is that? And I'll look.
Mm.
He already knows that stuff.
Because some of that comes from the pre-production, but then also like just while on set, you have an idea of the shots. So I have storyboarded before, and like I still storyboard some of the shots, but then for my last few films, I come in and I'm like, how's the light hitting? What's everyone doing? And then I'll like cover it organically, like based on the feeling on set. But we generally, I don't like we film a scene and we film it as a block, so then I can go back once we're done filming and just drag all those files into that folder, like scene 3 folder, scene 4 folder, and then drag the audio in and
So how
sync it up.
important is storyboarding? Would you say before you film?
You definitely want to have like for that grandpa shot in scene 3, like at the end of scene 3. That was something that was really strong in my head. I'm like,
Mm.
I want to make sure we get it the way that I see it, because it plays in the comedy of it.
Right.
So
What I like about that is like it wasn't like anything like complicated.
yeah,
You know what I mean? But it still worked.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That I think just having an idea where there's things like that you want, but then being open to adapting and changing. I think that's important. Um, and then just making sure you have the time
Yeah.
to get it, and then also be able to make more time to make more creative choices while you're there, because I mean in the end what you see is what is the film. So yeah.
I like in the film like how festive it looked, how like, you had the presents, you had everything like to a T. Like it looked real Christmassy for it to be shot in
Yeah.
November. So So like, what was the inspiration behind that, and how important is that compared to like some? Because some people would say, "Hey, I'm going to shoot a Christmas movie," but you don't see it looking Christmassy, you know. So like, what was the influence behind that?
I just think wanting to be festive, just wanting the look of this family takes being together a big deal, which means they obviously have to take some aspect of this holiday and make it a big deal. So maybe they decorated together, maybe the husband and wife did it together, but I wanted it to, you look at it and know that this family takes this serious, not just the holiday itself, but maybe the aspect of just doing it all together. So,
And that was something too when I we we were working on schedule and all that, and went to go see the location. Originally, Alicia had the idea of like using a separate dining room for the dining room scenes, and I saw like the way that that main space looked. I'm like, if we put it all there, then we get that hustle and bustle, and
Yeah.
like that we don't have location changes as much,
yeah.
but it kind of helps fill out that family festive
Mhm.
space where everyone's like really working around the table.
Yeah, and I like the movement in it, like in the establishing shots, like how they're moving, putting things together and all that. I think that's like one of those underrated shots, to make something look more like spectacular.
Hmm. Get people moving.
Yeah.
Learned a lot of that from doing background work, because like
Mhm.
as a background actor, you're doing that, and you have the assistant director kind of moving you and giving you that direction. So I like once we get started, I'm like, let's jump in and get that stuff figured out, and then we'll start breaking down the performances and those other moments. But like, let's fill that space and give an atmosphere to
What
it.
do you think about is that movement that's there on those type of shots? Why do you think that stands out more than just like a still shot?
It it has movement. It like has everyone's like doing something. Everyone's
Yeah.
there for a reason, and it brings everyone together.
It looks more
Yeah.
authentic. Like, I feel like even if you want somebody to connect with your story, if you're talking, that person's just standing there,
Hmm.
I don't think that looks real. If I'm talking to you, usually my kids are somewhere running around, my husband's doing something, there's
Yeah.
movement, there's life around you.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest thing is just portraying the fact that, yeah, we're having a conversation, we're bonding as a family, but there's life. Life is still going. We need to cook, we need to do these things. There's stuff that we have to get done in order to make this happen.
Yeah.
So,
That's what
Yeah.
back in scenes 1 and 2. There's lines about how like the siblings are going over early to help set up. So we have to see them setting up. Have the family has to be like getting this thing together before these dates show up.
Speaking about how you said like the authenticity of there's when you actually converse with somebody, it's like you're doing some type of movement, like a hand gesture or something's going on. You know what I mean? Because sometimes I look at independent films and stuff like that, check them out, and it's just like still shots, person standing right there, and it's like back and forth talking, conversing,
Or
but
just that.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's
I
like
like movement. I like
yeah.
there's energy. Everyone move. Like that's how people live. People actually like move around, and I want to like show real. I want it to feel real. People be like
Yeah.
in it, immersed in it.
Okay. Well, you know what? With that being said, this is the real wrap up. I'm
yeah.
gonna go ahead and end this. It's probably like an hour and a half now or so. But yeah, this is the first episode of Fresh Film Talk. Many of more. I have the lovely Aleishea Cordero, and I have the awesome Tyler Becks.
Hi.
All right.
This has been great. Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming. I appreciate it. Appreciate you guys coming, and hopefully, we can have more projects to do and bring you guys back on the show.
And thank you for all your work on the film too.
Oh
Like
yeah,
it
I
sounds
mean,
great. And
thank you,
yeah,
thank you. That's
yeah.
yes, sound. I did it for you. Usually I don't do sound. I do it for people that I like. You know what I mean? Usually it's just like I'll charge you. Like yeah, I'll charge you, but like or somebody will offer me, I'll do it. But usually I don't like doing sound. But if it's for people that I wanted to work with a new team and I even told her, I was like, man, I'll do everything but sound. And then Tyler hits me up. I need sound. I want it to sound crisp. Or I do it for you guys. So, but I actually enjoyed myself. Even with the sound, I was just like, I even learned a little bit more about my equipment and stuff. Like the stand that I got was like carbon fiber, so usually when I use other people, when I'm doing sound, I'm using other people's equipment, and it's like super heavy, and it's like, man, you know what? I didn't work out in like 3 months. I don't know how. I don't know. I don't know how long I can hold this, especially. But with you guys, I liked that there wasn't a lot of like dialogue. Oh, it's a dialogue, but it was just like, okay, it was little bits and pieces, and we will cut. You know, it wasn't like, okay, we're gonna do pages 2 through 6. You know what I mean? And it's just like, okay, but yeah, I did like that part. So yeah. All right. Well, that's a wrap for Fresh Film Talk, and we'll catch you guys next time. Peace.
Bye. Thank you.